Hi guys, Robot1 here, coming at you with a new Yu-Gi-Oh video talking about the top 5, not 10, 5 best rogue decks of this format in my opinion. And sorry for the glare of the windows, I can't do anything about that because I do not have curtains, and that may be a problem, but well, hey, what are you gonna do? I can't do anything about it, so you're just gonna have to deal with it. Or, you know, you could click off the video. Please don't. I like people watching these. It's fun. But yeah, today talking about the top 5 best rogue decks of the February 5th format. And basically, a lot of these decks I have chosen are my own opinion. I admit there may be some bias in these because I feel like they are good, but sometimes there is bias in all of these top 5 videos. So if you feel like something is wrong, tell me in the comment section below so I can find out, you know, if you think it's wrong and what your top 5 person would be for the best top 5 rogue decks of the February 5th format. But for this video, this is my personal opinion of these top 5 decks that are great coming out of the February 5th format, and why they are the best decks as well. Well, the best rogue decks in my opinion. And yes, we are sporting a Minecraft t-shirt. I've had it since Comic-Con last year, and I just put it on because I haven't worn it in a while, and why not? It's a t-shirt. And it's cool. And yeah, again, sorry, and one more time, just so you know, I am sorry for any lighting issues, but yeah, can't really do anything about it. I am sorry for them all if this is bothering you, and I know there's a shadow over my face. I've got to have the light on up there, otherwise my face will just be black. You won't be able to see me at all. The glare will just take over. But yeah, guys, I've rambled on not long enough. Let's get on to the top 5 best rogue decks of the February 5th format. So, yeah, let's go on to number 5. So, for number 5 now. Now, obviously there wasn't a transition there. That's because I really don't have time to edit transitions right now because life is taking over, coursework and stuff. And I don't have time to actually edit these the transitions in, but I can edit the cards in because that takes like 5 minutes and it's really easy. But yeah, so let's get into this. I do have the list right next to me of my top 5 rogue decks, and we're on number 5, and I'm just rambling on now, aren't I? Let's get into number 5. So for number 5, now what could be the 5th best rogue deck of the February 5th format? Well, from my standpoint of view, I feel like the 5th best deck of the February 5th format has to be Heroes. Now, Heroes is a deck that not a lot of people have ever thought of being a really good deck. Obviously, it's popped its head up a lot over the years, but it's a deck that comes in and out of the meta at times and just, you know, rears its head, doesn't do something for a bit, comes back, comes out, come in, come out. And why is it on the 5th? Why is it the 5th best deck in my opinion? Well, it's the 5th best rogue deck in my opinion for multiple reasons. The first one being it got the Noble Knight Link monster, Isolde, and really because we got the Noble Knight Link monster in Expo, it gave the deck a major boost. It gave the deck a major boost, allowing it to be able to get more searchability in the deck. It gave a new Stratos for the deck, which wasn't so powerful. It gave it link combos, being able to put the Dark Lore in the main monster zones instead of the link extra monster zone, which was kind of important because you always wanted your Dark Lore in the main monster zone opposed to the extra monster zone, because it was always a problem when it was in that extra monster zone. And because of it, because we were able to put it in there, we are now able to put Dark Lore into the main monster zone. Isolde is just an amazing card because it allows us to do that. And also, thanks to Isolde, we also got a search engine, which is really good, being able to search for stuff like Honest Neos, one of our best hand traps in the deck. being able to search out stuff like Elemental Vision Hero Vion, which allows us to do our fusion combos in the deck. It allows us to search out our Shadow Mist if we want a normal Shadow Mist. It allows us to search out Bubble Man if we want to use Bubble Man. And it allows us to search out Goblin Bug as well, which is a very hard card to search in the deck right now, purely because Rota is at 1. So for all these for those reasons as well, that's why Isolde is very good. Another reason is, as I said, Darklaw. Darklaw having the effect to banish all of your opponent's cards that are sent to the graveyard is very powerful. And being able to do that in a format such as this, again, where Pendulums is one of the best decks, and the Pendulum decks are trying to remove their scales constantly with stuff like Astrograph, with stuff like Chronograph, and with stuff like Darkworm, all these cards will be banished, and that will be very powerful for the deck, just being able to send all these cards to the banish zone and just enable your opponent to lose a lot of advantage because of it, because they always want their Chronograph and their Astrograph in the extra deck, in opposed to going to the banish zone. Same with Darkworm, where they want to use Foolish Burial or Dragon Shrine to send their Darkworm to the graveyard. But if you have if you have Darkworm on the field, if you have Darklaw on the field, they are unable to do that. So that is a good reason for why Darklaw is a very powerful card in the hero deck, this format, and a reason for why heroes are one of the 5th best decks. Well, rogue decks, in my opinion. Another reason is that the deck is very consistent as well. The deck has a lot of consistency through cards like Hero Lives, through Shadow Mist, through Vision, Hero Vion, through tons of other means as well, such as Rota, Free Equal. The deck is able to run Pop Desires very easily as well, and that you can even run cards like Malicious Edge, which you can send off Vion to then be able to get to your Isolde very easy and just be able to go through your hero combos such as like that. And those are very good reasons for why the deck is very competitive right now. It's a very good rogue deck right now. The deck isn't very competitive, but it is a very good rogue deck because of this. And this does give it reason for one of the reasons why I believe it is the 5th best deck, just because of its consistency is very high thanks to cards like Malicious, thanks to cards like Vion, thanks to cards like Shadow Mist, thanks to cards like Equal, Hero Lives, all of it. It gives the deck a load of consistency. Plus, the deck also got a boost from the ban list as well by unbanning Monster Reborn, being able to now summon that Shadow Mist from the graveyard for free with a Monster Reborn, and it also got a Solemn Judgment, which is the best Solemn card for a hero deck, purely because you are always paying half your life points and less, so being able to pay half your life points instead of paying that 15, which sure you would want to prefer to pay, but if you're on something really low then it doesn't really matter, or being able to prefer to pay that 2,000, which is very, very good, with Solemn Judgment being back, giving the deck that little bit more extra power to be able to play the game a little better. So those are the reasons why I feel like heroes are the 5th best deck of the rogue area of Yu-Gi-Oh. They do have a lot of power in this game, thanks to cards like Isolde now, thanks to cards like Darklaw, thanks to its consistency, and just thanks to the ban list giving us cards like Judgment and Monster Reborn back, which are very good reasons to give this deck the 5th best rogue spot. So number 5 is heroes. Let's move on to number 4. So for number 4, now number 4 is a deck that I consider to be a little, which can be, well, a little off, but also very good at the same time. Now, hear me out to why I feel like this deck is really good at the same time and just like off the radar a bit. Now, this deck is a big beater deck that can do a lot of power and can do a lot of combo plays. And obviously I'm talking about Blue Eyes because I don't know why I didn't just say that. Now, why is Blue Eyes the 4th best rogue deck in my opinion? Now, Blue Eyes is a deck that is a very rank 8 heavy spam deck at times. It's also a ritual based deck. It's got a lot of different combos in it. And why I believe Blue Eyes is the 4th best non-meta deck, rogue deck or non-meta deck, however you like to see it. I'm going to quickly take a sip of this water. Talking a lot dries your throat out. And yeah, being able to... Blue Eyes is just a very consistent deck in general as well because of this. I lost track of thought. I lost my train of thought. But Blue Eyes in general is a very consistent deck that is able to spam out rank 8 monsters very easily through its combo plays, which does help it a lot. The deck is also able to play cards such as Chaos Max Dragon, which will allow you to will allow you to normally pierce your opponent for lots of damage through consistent ways as well, seeing as you can play cards like Senju if you're playing the Chaos Max version, Send you with 1,000 hands, Manager with 1,000 hands to get to your ritual spell, and then you can play Melody of Awakening Dragon to search out a Blue Eyes to use for the ritual summon, and a Chaos Max Dragon to summon. Now, one of the reasons why Chaos Max is probably one of the main reasons why this deck is the 4th best non-meta deck or rogue deck is because it gives the deck a power play. Like, Blue Eyes, sure, they had a ton of power plays through cards like Dark Matter, which is another reason why they are one of the 4th best rogue decks in this format, is because Chaos Max is a very easy way to get to, and being able to just double pierce your opponent's opponent with essentially a towers is very powerful, because the only way to really get rid of it is to have, say, Utopia Lightning or maybe a Solemn Judgment to negate the spell card. Now, you can't strike the card, you can't bottomless the card, you can't TT the card, because the card can't be targeted or destroyed by effects. You can't Castel the card either, which is very good. And because of this, I feel like the card is a very big reason for why this is the 4th best non-meta deck, rogue deck. And also the Chaos Max variant got a boost through a card called Hey Trunade, which came out in Extreme Forces as well. Being able to just clear your opponent's back row very easily and go through everything to get to your opponent's life points. Now, the Chaos Max version also plays stuff like Swords of Concealing Light, which helps them do this as well with cards like Hey Trunade and Swords of Concealing Light. With the Chaos Max Dragon, I feel like it does deserve the 4th best spot, and also seeing as the versions where it's just a pure rank 8 build or a Link build. No, the Link build died as soon as level died. Sorry, or just a rank 8 build sort of deck where it makes like Cypher Dragon and goes for FTKs, which the OTKs, which the deck can do very easily. I feel like. Thanks to Chaos Max, the deck has a very strong standing in the top 5 non-meta rogue decks to play this format. So, number 4 goes to Blue Eyes, because it's just got Chaos Max Dragon, which is amazing. It's got cards like Hey Trunade to get rid of the back row. It also got boosts from the ban list thanks to Monster Reborn to revive any Blue Eyes into the graveyard. And it just got a lot of power boosts in general thanks to stuff like Hey Trunade. And I feel like this is definitely the 4th best deck of this format. For rogue purposes. I've got to remember to say rogue, otherwise people are going to say best deck as in best decks in general. That was last week's video. But yeah, that's the 4th. Let's go on to number 3, which is Ritual Beasts. So number 3 is Ritual Beasts. Now, why is it Ritual Beasts? Well, Ritual Beasts in general are a deck that kind of can brick at times, but can also be very consistent at times. It's a sort of deck that I consider to be the 3rd best rogue deck, purely because it's got a lot of plays in it, such as the new Link play, where you can make basically the Link monster and a Connorhawk turn 1, and an Ulti Connorhawk turn 1, with going in and out to get at least 2 trap cards, I believe. And thanks to stuff like this for Ritual Beast, the deck's got its new Link monster that gives it a very big power from Expo, and that gives it additional normal summons, which the deck does really need from experience. It also got boosts from the ban list as well, thanks to cards like Monster Reborn and Solemn Judgment, being able to just add to the power of the deck, being able to revive, say, a Connorhawk, being able to revive, say, a fusion monster that you fuse correctly. It gives it the ability to boost its power through cards like Monster Reborn and Solemn Judgment, which Judgment can negate anything and Monster Reborn can revive anything, which is very, very good as well, because you can also take Link monsters from your opponent's graveyard, put them on your board, use your Link monster, make a Borolo Dragon or a Firewall Dragon or even a Skull Dread, Saruja, or whatever you want to call it, which gives it a lot of power. Plus, the deck is capable of running lots of floodgates, such as Anti-Spell Fragrance to go against Pendulum, Unending Nightmare for Pendulum as well, Anti-Spell, Unending Nightmare, and any other floodgate you could think of, such as even maybe Rival over the Warlords, Rival over the Warlords is types, isn't it? Goes in match for attributes, to deal with your opponent's different attributes. I'm sure that might not be super amazing, but if spirals do make some sort of comeback, this can actually help. Plus, it can do stuff against stun, which is very good as well. So, it is very good to choose Ritual Beasts. just because they can use a lot of floodgates. Plus, they can also use a lot of trap cards as well, which in their deck, which they already do, such as Steed, which is non-targeting removal, and Ambush, which just revives 2 Ritual Beasts, which is very powerful. So these are very good reasons for the deck to actually be considered the 3rd best non-meta deck, just because it's able to generate an additional normal summons thanks to its new Link monster. It's able to easily just go get around consistency issues through cards such as E-Telly, which I didn't mention for some reason, I don't know why. Through cards such as Pot of Desires, which you have to play in the deck. Through tons of other cards in the deck, such as like Foolish Burial as well, which can help the deck out through consistency means such as that. And it just gives the deck a lot of power. Which I feel is very helpful. Plus, with the ability to use tons of traps and floodgates, it just gives it a lot of ability to play the game. So I feel Ritual Beasts do deserve the number 3 spot on this list, just because the ability to use tons of floodgates, the ability to use tons of trap cards, the ability to have consistency in the deck through additional normal summons, through additional fusion summons, and just being able to make your 1 Corner Hog is still very powerful to be able to loop, to get your Steeds, to get your Ambush, to just be able to continue going off in your deck. Plus, having an Alta-Gaia Pelio, which can negate anything, is still really powerful. So, good options to play Ritual Beast as well as a rogue deck this format. I personally have it and can't wait to play it again still soon. Like, I've just got to find someone who has an Alta-Gaia Pelio. That's when I make a deck profile. But nonetheless, yeah, Ritual Beast number 3 for those reasons. Let's move on to number 2 because I have been rambling on. So for number 2, in my opinion, is a deck that, well, it's not really a deck, it's more of a concept. And the reason I feel like it's number 2 is because of what it can do and because how it plays. And this deck is Stun. Now, why, just in general, Stun, the concept of Stun, why is that number 2 for rogue decks? Well, Stun has always been a thing in our game where it likes to deal with our opponent's problems, it likes to deal with our opponent, and it just in general likes to interfere with our opponent and annoy the hell out of them. I have faced Stun in the past, and it's been very annoying. I did it on stream, and I won, thanks to Double Trap Stun. And because of these reasons, it's like, okay, well, this is very good. We can get around these stuff, but Stun is just still very annoying because it stuns what we do. Now, what are the reasons for this deck, for Stun in general being like the 2nd best deck in the rogue area, for my opinion? Well, first of all, it got a new card in Extreme Forces called Inspect Border. And Inspect Border's effect is basically, you can only activate the monster effects up to your opponent can only activate monster effects up to the number of Link, Pendulum, Synchro, Xyz, Fusion, and any extra card on the board. So if you summon Inspect Border and just set a ton of back row, your opponent essentially cannot activate any monster effects, such as hand traps because there's no Link monsters, such as any spiral effect because there's no Link monsters, such as any pendulum monster effects, such as Astrograph, Chronograph, Black Fang, Poison. They can't activate any of those if there are no Pendulum, Xyz, Link, Fusion, or Synchro monsters on the board. And I know if you've got Pendulums, that's probably not going to be a big problem, but Inspect Border essentially does that. Plus, the deck also has other floodgate cards, such as Thunder King Ryo, which stop the ability to search the deck. It also plays stuff like Vanity's Fiend as well, which it does to be able to just stop your opponent from special summoning in general. It also has gained a lot of traction thanks to cards like Judgment and Monster Reborn from the ban list, being able to revive the monsters that are sent to graveyard because you can't protect them. And also the deck plays a lot of boosting cards such as the Phantom Knight, Sword cards that give additional attack and protect them from being destroyed. And also it's just like it can run a lot of floodgates such as Anti-Spell Fragrance, and Unending Nightmare to deal with your opponent. It can also run stuff like Gozen Match and other things to be able to deal with your opponent through those means as well, which is a very good sort of play to deal with your opponent. Plus, you can also play the Barrier Stun version, where you play Inspect Border and a ton of Barrier statues with Fossil Dino as well, which is another option, and that's why Stun is mainly the number 2 deck on this list, because Stun in general just has a ton of different concepts and a ton of different things to deal with your opponent through stuff like Barrier Stun, Inspect Border Stun, Thunder King Ryo, just amazing card, and it just uses so many different cards that you can actually just deal with your opponent very easily, so I feel like that is definitely an option for the 2nd best deck. deck of this format, just because of those reasons in general. But yeah, that's number 2. What could possibly be number 1? Let's move on to that now. Okay, so number 1. Now, number 1 is a deck you guys are probably thinking, probably going to say, well, compared to the rest of the list, how could this deck be number 1? And this deck is essentially Odd Eyes. Now, before you start raising your pitchfork, wait, no, put them down, put that pitchfork down, you. I'm looking at you, you little. But yeah, hear me out. The reason I feel like Odd Eyes is the number 1 rogue deck of this format is because of multiple reasons. One, it is one of the most consistent decks in the game, being able to run about 17, 16 search cards in the game, such through cards like Spiral Strike, Duelist Alliance, Spiral Strike, Duelist Alliance, Odd Eyes himself, Odd Eyes Arc Dragon, Sky Iris, Terraforming, the deck runs so many search cards, so that shows how consistent the deck is, just being able to search all these cards, which all are Odd Eyes cards and give you advantage for that matter, and because of that fact alone, it can be one of the best rogue decks. But there's also other reasons, such as it can OTK your opponent very easily through means such as double damage through Odd Eyes, through double piercing damage as well if you've got an Odd Eyes Minotaur, through just pendulum summoning a ton of pendulum monsters to deal with your opponent very easily. Through just in general playing the game, the way Odd Eyes play the game, being able to burn your opponent as well, through stuff like Red Eyes Flare, Metal Dragon. The deck is very rank 7 orientated, plus through link plays as well, which the deck can do very easily, thanks to cards like Galaxy Tomahawk. The deck can also play cards such as Hate Rune to boost that consistency to kill your opponent by removing all the back row as well. The deck got advantage through stuff like Monster Reborn and Judgment as well, being able to clear your opponent's stuff and revive your opponent's stuff or your own stuff to the board very easily, which is really good. Plus, the deck doesn't need Electromite, but even if it has Electromite, that can boost the deck a lot just by making Electromite, penduluming 2 into those scales, then going for game very easily. Electromite being a very good card in the deck, but you don't really need to play Electromite in the deck and in any way, shape, or form to actually gain advantage with the deck. So Electromite is just a bonus really for Odd Eyes. Plus, there's also the Mythical Beasts out of Expo that give the deck a lot of power. Through being able to send the Mythical Beast Cerberus, I believe it's called, the Mythical Beast Cerberus from your scale into the extra deck to then search a Mythical Beast from your deck to your hand. It's the secret rare. And you can search the Jackal, then you can put the Jackal in the scale, use Jackal effect, destroy Jackal, Jackal then summons Cerberus, and because of that you'll basically got a free level 8 monster onto the board with a Jackal in the extract that you can essentially pendulum summon to then gain monsters that can negate monster effects, and that that is actually very powerful in the deck, just because you're able to then even use, and even though they're 4 scales, you don't really care. You don't really care that the monsters are 4 scales, because even though that they're 4 scales, you still gain tons of advantage, purely because, almost all my monsters are level 7 monsters, so you don't really give a damn if your scale is 4, because you can still pendulum summon multiple monsters from your hand. Also, also thanks to cards like Arc Dragon, you're able to, if an Odd Eyes card you control is destroyed, you can summon a monster from your deck. Plus, it's the most consistent way to bring out Vortex Dragon with this deck, because you can easily just make a Odd Eyes Dissolver from your deck, fuse with an Odd Eyes Dissolver himself and then another Pendulum monster, and then go straight into a Vortex to be able to negate anything. Like, Odd Eyes in general, I feel, are definitely the #1 best rogue deck in this format, just because of the fact that it can OTK very easily. It's one of the most consistent decks in the game, in my opinion, running about 18 search cards at times. It can use Electromite, but you don't really need Electromite to actually play the game because it's not really needed in general. You've even got the Mythical Beast stuff that came out of Extreme Forces that gave the deck a boost as well. And you've also got the ban list that gave the deck a boost for cards like Monster Reborn and Judgment as well, which gave almost every deck a boost. So For all these reasons, I feel like this is the #1 best rogue deck. But guys, that's just my opinion in general. What is your guys' opinion? Do you feel like these 5 decks are the best rogue decks of the format? Do you think you would personally play these 5 rogue decks, any of these 5 rogue decks in your tournaments, your locals, to be able to deal with your opponent? Would you play Stun to annoy your opponent? Would you play Heroes because of Isolde came out? Would you play Ritual Beast because they got the new Ritual monster? Hell, would you play Chaos Max to make a Towers to annoy your opponent? Or would you even play Odd Eyes because you want to be like Yugioh, being able to OTK your opponent very easily, but not being an idiot with it? If you feel like any of these decks are, all of these decks are correct, tell me in the comment section below. If you think they're wrong, tell me your lists in the comment section below. I love to hear your opinions. I love to hear what you guys think about your own lists, about your opinion of the 5 rogue decks of this format. I'd like to hear your opinions about all of this stuff because I like to have discussions with you guys. So anything you want to tell me about that, tell me in the comment section below because I love to hear it. I love to know what you guys say, think, and all of that. But yeah, also if you enjoyed this video, tell me what you think of this video in the comment section below. Tell me if you want to see more top 5 videos from me. Tell me if you want to see more deck discussions from me, such as more reasons for why a certain deck might be good or bad. Tell me if you actually, you know what? New series idea. If you want to see me review decks in general, just decks in general that could be really good or really bad, just to review them and give my full opinions on them, tell me in the comment section below if you want to see stuff like that. I'll do it because I actually enjoy talking about decks. I like reviewing them. I like testing them. I like giving my opinions on them, and I always like giving my opinions on stuff in this game. So tell me about that in the comment section below. Tell me if you want me to do a segment like that. Tell me all of that in the comment section below. Also, if you like this video, guys, don't forget to like the video to show that you liked the video and want to see more of these videos. Also, if you want to see more videos from me, press the subscribe button to get my videos in your subscription box. Also, if you want to get notified about those videos, press the notification button as well so you can be notified of those future Yugioh videos. And yeah, guys, that's the video. The top 5 decks, as I said, are Heroes, Heroes, Blue Eyes, the Chaos Max version mostly, Ritual Beast, Stun, and Odd Eyes. If you think I'm wrong, again, tell me in the comments section below, and I will see you guys next time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Robot1 signing out. That's the video, and these are the 5 decks that I think are the best. Bye, guys. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on this video for more Yu-Gi-Oh videos, and check out the links in the description for the previous video, and the link to my Facebook page where you can see previous videos that I've posted there, and any other information that I may have posted there. I hope to see you guys next time, and thanks for watching.